So here's a great question that gets right to the heart of abstract painting, and that is, how do you handle composition with so many unknowns? I mean, don't we all really struggle with that, right? I've got some paintings behind me that I'm going to use as an example. And the truth is, overall, big picture, you have to get comfortable being in the uncomfortable. And for some of us, it takes a while. Some of us are very spontaneous people, and so our personality tends to lend with, oh, let's just go and see what that does. Let's see what happens here. But there are some of us where our personality is more of a planner of, organized and all of that, and it just goes against our grain. So it takes us a little longer. And what I do for myself and what I teach my students is that you have to, first of all, get comfortable being in that uncomfortable, no matter what it is, like how long it takes you personally. It's going to take each one of us a different amount of time because we're individuals. But the way I do that is to approach an abstract painting knowing I never know what's going to happen. Yikes. That's like the uncomfortable right there. So if I can get my mindset wrapped around that, I don't know what's going to happen. I let go of expectations. And then also I start each session with just a warm-up play where I'm not thinking, I'm just getting stuff down on canvas. Anything goes, just having fun, no judgment, all of that. And I build a few layers like that. And then as I go into it, I start pulling on an intention, something that I want to feel in this painting, or I want the viewer to feel, or something to that effect, right? And that's when I get a little more intentional with my color. And I keep building on those layers. And then when I get further into it, I just start honing in on the mood. So it's not necessarily a composition thing, it's a mood. And then I make tweaks as I go along. And this is how I approach the composition. One, do I get that clear mood or feeling from that painting of what I want to come across? Two, do I have enough variation in the painting? Meaning, if there's shapes of, and everything is a shape, even if it's a blob, right? So it may not necessarily be like a square, it's just a big blob. Do I have a variety of those shapes, or are they all the same? So I would want to make a couple of them really big, a couple of them maybe more on the medium side, or maybe just one on the medium, and then maybe several really small ones. And then the other thing I do is contrast. So is there enough of a contrast within whatever shapes in that, because we're working in the abstract, right? It is not always a clear-cut object that we're painting, or a horizon, or a landscape, something that you can tell what it is. So that's where I think most of us get tripped up. But do we have enough contrast? Like if it's a thick line that's going crazy over the canvas, are there sections where it's going over very light sections so that it makes it stand out? And are some of those shapes, are they a darker color on a lighter color, where it just kind of draws your attention in, and you go, oh, now that's really interesting. Let me get a little closer and see what else is going on. And, the other thing I do is I try to make sure there's different sections in the painting. And that may not always be the case of what the artist wants to do. Sometimes we want almost all of it to be very spacious, meaning just a plain area painting. So that's something to consider. But if you're new and starting out and you want some easy things to do, that is something that I also add, is a section where it's not so busy, right? It's maybe just a color of a paint over a section that sort of tones it down, calms it down. And it's a color that works with everything else that I'm using, so that it helps enhance the mood, the feeling, the vibe, the abstract concept, that I'm trying to come across in those paintings. So that's how I approach composition. And then obviously, as you get more into it, we get a little more sensitive to what's there, and we start asking ourselves the question, well, this is a good, strong concept, meaning it's hit those three areas. And now what can I do to make it even stronger or more like the mood? And that's when we start coming in with little marks in certain areas, being a little more sensitive to, oh, this one little section needs a little more contrast. This section needs to be toned down. And it comes together and you keep asking yourself, now does it give that mood, that vibe, that abstract concept that I was going for? And that's how we get there to the composition.